How we doing, boys and girls? Welcome. Good morning. Shout out to you all joining nice and early this morning. I wake up to find the Discord's popped off. 7,000 new messages. Apparently there's a new World of Warcraft Dragonflight beta patch, so let's get some caffeine in us. And let's break it down. I'm quite sure my Australian friends are well ahead of the game. Well ahead of the game, considering you live in the future. But let's find out what's going on then. Right, we need to first find the mouse. There's the mouse. There we go. Right. Let's have a little bit of a looky. Let me see if I can find official patch notes. Official patch notes, Blizzard. It was quite a busy one. Only 7 hours ahead of you. In the future. Literally in the future. Right. Wrath of the Lich King. Blah, 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 blah. Changes and experiments to raid rewards in Dragonflight Season 1. Experiments to raid rewards in Season 1. Oh, Blizzard. Season 1 is not the time to be doing experiments. Alright, sure. Let's read the official patch notes. We'll get to that, though, in a little bit. Here we go. Here's the official patch notes. Right. Okay. Classes. Stuff happens, right? What? Starting off with a doozy. Resurrection sickness now only lasts a minute, was 10. Characters that res at a spirit healer below level 10 now suffer 10% durability loss. And characters that resurrect at a spirit healer at level 10 and above now suffer 50% durability loss. Get wrecked. Resurrection sickness. The penalty that is applied to your character when you choose to resurrect at the spirit healer is to ensure that death has some consequence and players aren't intentionally dying as a routine travel shortcut. What? The repercussions of quick resurrection is the long-standing 10 minutes of greatly reduced attributes discourages you from playing the game in any capacity for that duration. With this change, resurrecting at a spirit healer will now take a larger hit to your item durability, but a much shorter duration on the debuff. What? What? MMO Champion's the place to go again? Oh, yeah. I won't be using Wowhead for patch notes. Wowhead is just like a tabloid newspaper nowadays. It's all flipping headlines and clickbait. Trying to siphon more money from us again. See this? That was the first thing I thought. Like, you know, if you die once and you choose to take res sickness instead of running back to your corpse, you'll take a 50% durability hit. Does that mean you're going to be red in 2 deaths? Repair fees up the wazoo. Sure. Okay. 10-minute debuff was causing people to log out. That's the cause of the change, I think. There. Yeah, because heaven forbid engagement drops because of a mechanic they put in the game. It's only for spirit healer res. Okay. Okay, I'd never really even gone as far as to consider that could be a thing, but sure. New starter builds then. In this week's PTR and beta build, all specs now have a starter build loadout. The starter build is a preset talent build created for players who would prefer not to choose their own talents yet, but simply want a decent build that's suitable for most content. This will be available for both leveling characters and max level characters. I think these starter builds are a really good idea, you know. A really good idea, because it says, right, this is a default template, and it allows people to then quickly and easily see what's going on with the tree, see what is a suggested level path. The starter builds will probably be dog shit, let's not forget though. They'll be more thematic than they will be practical. In that, I mean that, you know, certain characters will have certain abilities because it's meant to be a keystone ability, even though a lot of people would choose to skip it because there'll be something better. But either way, they'll probably be terrible, but it gives you a starting point, right? You can then go in and you can switch some nodes about, and then you can customize from there. Having to build it from square one is a bit daunting if you either are new to the class or you haven't played that class for a long time. It's quite possible that you're going to have, like, you know, level 50s, 60 characters that you may not have touched for 2 years. The class might have completely changed since you last played them. To be presented a brand new bajillion point talent tree is a bit daunting, so I think these make sense. These make sense, I reckon. Utility changes. This build will have a few changes to various utility-themed abilities across multiple talent trees based upon some feedback. We've identified a number of such talents or abilities that we feel need to be changed due to their power level, requirements on group composition or design, blah, 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 blah. In addition to changes below, we're also taking a second look at the Restless Crew for, I'm sure, whatever. Yeah, cool. Balancing, everything balancing. Buffs and nerfs all over the place. Yep, love it. Great, excellent. If you care about your class in enough detail, check them out. Yeah. Okay. Right, we get it. Yeah, lots of changes. Oh. Okay. What was all the fuss about? What was all the fuss about? Those patch changes were pathetic. I'm guessing the hype is not around the patch notes then. All right then, fine. What were the other blue posts then? Because that was it's going to be this one, right? It's got to be this one. Changes and experiments to raid rewards in. Whoa! I nearly knocked my coffee over. That would have been tragic. Right. This is where all of the fuss is happening then, right? Oh my lord. Okay. Hi everybody, we wanted to get some sort of primer ahead of the raid testing tomorrow to provide context for the sort of changes you will and won't see as you step into the Dragonflight's first raid. Before diving into what's different, this post is going to be entirely about the raid. We'll have other information before long about what's going on with other endgame activities such as Mythic Plus at a later date. So we won't be making any mention of them here today, just to stay focused on the topic at hand, because they want to see how well this goes before spreading it out through the rest of the game. Group loot then. While inside the raid, group loot will be the only method of loot distribution. There is no option to select for yourself or for your group to return to personal loot. That's an interesting twist. Some items such as profession reagents may still use the personal loot where appropriate. Okay. Need and Greed UI will return, and we'll be monitoring feedback to make the rules around how and when players can roll on items to be as intuitive as possible. Well. It's not quite master loot, but group loot is a step in the right direction. Need before greed becoming a thing. Makes sense. I don't see any issue with any of the loot changes. I guess BoE farmers are the unhappy ones. I guess I'll get to that in a minute then, will I? Okay, loot trading. While in a raid, all item level restrictions placed on trading between members of that group are removed entirely. This means even small item level increases that aren't upgrades, as is often the case with rings and necklaces, which are budgeted high in secondary stats, won't be locked to a player, even in the case they win the roll and win that item. You know who's you know who's happy as a pig in shit about all of this? There's one certain category of people that will be happy as a pig in shit about these changes. Can anybody guess? If I have lots of money or lots of gold and don't care for the apart from Asmongold, and don't care so much for the effort that should naturally be put into defeating a raid, boosters are going to be it's Christmas for boosters. This is like Christmas. Yeah, come along. We can now sell you full loot. We can sell you full loot rules. They can start charging people per piece of gear. It's not about the boost. It used to be about we'll kill the boss for you, but the loot's, that's on you. Now they can start charging for the boost. Loot funnels will be a thing. Oh, baby. GDKP on retail. Practically. Okay, cool. Sure. The loot trading was always a ridiculous restriction anyway, it felt. Always felt completely batshit bonkers bananas that they tied it to the item level, when anybody worth their salt very quickly comes to realize that item level is just the number that's attached to the piece of gear. It is very frequently possible that a lower item level piece of gear is better than a higher item level piece of gear because of the stats it offers you personally, or because of an on-equip bonus, or, for various reasons. So this, sure, makes sense. GDKP equals cheaper tokens. Does it mean cheaper tokens? Can't prevent the boosted to press need. Well, that's a twist. That's a twist. If something absolutely ridiculous drops, you also then can't prevent the person being boosted pressing the need button, I suppose. But I guess that's the risk you take with boosting, surely, right? I'm not entirely sure if GDKP will mean cheaper tokens, although the boosting it's difficult to have a strong impression of what the boosting scene really does to the token value anyway. It's clear that people take their credit card out their pocket, they buy tokens with real money, exchange those tokens for gold, and then use that gold to buy boosts. Now, the logic stands is that if GDKP runs become a thing on retail, there is a lesser barrier to entry to that sort of activity, which is actually the opposite of what most people would probably want. Most people are not best impressed with the whole boosting thing in the first place. But if every single pug ends up just becoming a GDKP, I don't think that's good. This is one of the downsides of group loot and master loot systems, and is the only saving grace of what the personal loot system was. The personal loot system did hinder quite aggressively the boosting landscape. Not that it made much difference, though. This is the thing. So how much does it really make a difference overall? We don't know. But it does, in very simple terms, reduce the barrier to entry to be able to boost and to sell gear and all that sort of stuff, which it's obviously something that's on the whiteboard in the dev rooms at Blizzard, that, well, if we, personal loot made it harder to boost and to trade loot, but everybody wants group loot. But with everybody wanting group loot, the downside of that is it does also then provide a much easier path to victory for people that want to sell loot and sell boosts. So, you know, is it 6 of one, half dozen of another? Who knows? Item level tiering then. There now exists a third item level tier at which items may drop up from 2. What? 389 is the base item level for normal difficulty and will drop from the first 4 bosses, I presume they are. 395 is a new intermediate tier, which was previously the final bosses, that now exists for wing bosses. And 398 is reserved for the final bosses. I thought that was already a thing. I thought we kind of already knew that was a thing. These item level increases will stay with the plus 13 band for each tier of difficulty, meaning that heroic would start at 402, just 4 item levels after them. Okay, so there's only 9 item levels spread on a single difficulty now. Okay, sure. For a long while, we've observed that while players love the challenge of powerful wing bosses and mid-tier walls, like Halondrus, Sludgefist, and Painsmith, it didn't make much sense when overcoming those involved challenges, rewarding you with the same gear that you got from defeating Shriekwing. Our hope is that by introducing new tiers of raid rewards, progressing through Vault and future raids will feel more meaningful as you master the difficult encounters within. I love Blizzard's use of the word meaningful. I love it. I just it's like they have to put the word meaningful in every blue post somewhere. I think personal loot solved the problem that it was supposed to solve, which was constant arguments between players who should get the loot and ninja looting. I fall into the category of people who didn't really believe that was so much of a problem anyway. But yeah, I think the people that got caught in the crosshairs of the personal loot. I don't want to turn this into a personal loot versus master loot sort of debate because that's been going on for years. But I'm relatively convinced that it was a similar thing to the multi-boxing thing. You know, the people that would naturally, the people that got caught in the crosshair were the honest people that weren't doing anything wrong. Guilds that had a group of organized people, you know, in many cases real life friends, people that had played the game for years. Guilds that weren't necessarily having consistent loot-based drama were just punched in the face by personal loot. They had a perfectly working system, a perfectly balanced distribution system between themselves, all based upon, they all worked together to kill the boss, and they all had the same rules when looting. I think the personal loot system was very simply I don't know. I think in some regards it was to probably promote pugs. It was an aid to push more people into raiding, because there was this kind of stigma that if you join a pug, there's a chance that your gear's going to get you're joining a pug, and all you're really doing is you're boosting the person that made the pug. Which was, not necessarily a good thing. Okay, so the item level tiering makes a lot of sense. A more progressive leveling of more steps in the path through gearing. Sure. What's this going to do for crafted gear? Because 3. Oh, Jesus, they're changing the item levels of stuff so frequently, I can't remember the item level of anything anymore. Especially with all this quality jazz kicking about. 393. Is it still that 393 is basic crafted gear? of which will mean it sits a little bit above. Oh Christ, I can't remember. We'll have to take a little bit of a look in game to confirm this. But I mean, like I said, crafting had a bit of a rebalance of its item levels last week, and people had a bit of a hoo-ha about it. But this is probably just bringing it in line. We can do some comparisons once we get into game in a little bit. Unique drops. Okay, what be this then? What be this? Additionally, we're experimenting with a number of bosses that possess one item that intentionally drops at a higher item level, usually plus 6 or 7 from that boss's normal table. Are they referring to plus 6 or 7 item levels? To be clear, this isn't Titan forging. It will be the same item every time, and it will be very slightly rarer to compensate. And pending some new tech, we have the ability to note this in the dungeon journal itself, due to some new tech. You mean some intern has got actually assigned the job of putting it in the dungeon journal. These can be unique appearances, items with special bonus effects, or a powerful trinket that many people may seek after. Are Blizzard intentionally trying to cause drama? Because not like, to play devil's advocate here, they're bring back in group loot, and then at the very same time as bringing in group loot, they're going to bring in unique drops that are higher item level and are clearly rarer. Have we done the full 360? Have we genuinely done the full 360? Just give us Master Loot back, Blizzard. Christ. By this point, you've done a full 360. You know what? Personal loot didn't work. We're going to put it back the way that it was and let people just go crazy. Let drama ensue. Ninja loot all the fuck you want. Oh dear. Okay. I mean, I don't care. It's all good. It's all good fun. As long as as long as everybody's playing by the same rules, everybody knows what to expect. Okay. So we have a few things that we're hoping to accomplish with this. Retain some excitement from the early bosses that groups typically master very quickly and no longer become challenging by spicing up their loot table. Nope. 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 All it means is that they're now, have to focus on killing that one every single time again. Those early bosses are on farm anyway. All this now means is those first early bosses, they can bring in a couple of boosters, and they can sell these rare items once none of the raid needs them. It doesn't create any excitement at all. Why would it create any more excitement? You're going to have to kill that boss to get to the later bosses anyway. It doesn't create any more excitement at all. Gives more long-term goals for difficult encounters. It's all engagement rates. Make a larger push towards having item level accuracy reflect the power of a particular item. No, Blizzard. This is what I said like 10 minutes ago. Everybody that looks at gear in any form of serious fashion ignores item level. It's an arbitrary number on a piece of gear. Don't matter. If it was hidden, it wouldn't make any difference. All it allows people to do is to quickly differentiate between what should be better than something else. Never means that it is. Nor can you ever easily balance that because there's like 40 classes in the game. 40 specs. Sorry. Whatever. They can do whatever they want. It makes no difference. Their justifications for adding these is a bit weird. Feels very PR-y. That doesn't feel like the real reasons they're doing it. It doesn't feel like the real reasons. To clarify, this is cool. There's nothing more fun for me than having a boss that's going to drop something rare, and more bosses that drop something rare that more people may be looking to get access to. It's more likely just extend the raid to always skip those bosses. Well, yeah, like I said, engagement rates, right? Now you're going to go back and now you're going to kill those bosses instead of just extending a raid. Now you're going to kill them. But more importantly, you're going to bring 2 or 3 people along with you as a boost, as a way to fund the guild. Win-win, I suppose. While we added many strong effects to the weapons in Shadowlands, it wasn't really communicated how good an effect actually was. For instance, Edge of Night, the Sylvanas' daggers, were clearly much stronger than their item level indicated. You find me a rogue on the face of the earth that wasn't aware of that. They don't exist. Everybody knew. I don't even raid. I don't do any raiding. Of course I knew the Sylvanas daggers were better than anything else. Still appeared in the same of the rest of the loot table. Our hope is that by being a little bit more flexible with item level, we can give ourselves better tools for tuning these effects appropriately and in a way that makes sense to all players intuitively. Why? Am I the only one that thinks Blizzard are just wasting their time with this? Why? What benefit does that have to anybody? Stop wasting time creating tech and systems that run behind the scenes to pad out your personal CVs before you go and make your own game development company. This doesn't make a blind bit of difference to anybody. Focus on making better content. Sure. For the moment, it's intended that not all 8 bosses possess one. But that's something that could change in the future. Current example of unique drops are, there's a pair of special rings, there's an Omni trinket from the Primal Council that gets stronger with more copies. Oh, so every person in the raid is going to want the trinket. And there's already competition between jewel crafting crafted trinkets, the new idols, and Dark Moon cards. Ooh, that's an interesting one. And a special bow from the Storm Incarnate herself. And a cool bow. That, in many cases, kills off the leatherworking bow and probably the engineering gun, I would guess. Would be my guess. That ends the list of things that exist and are implemented, though tuning for trinkets and special effects are still very much work in progress. That said, we'd also like to share some plans that aren't implemented. We're interested in trying this out for a future beta build and getting your feedback on how it feels. Bind on equips. Oh lord, they're changing BoEs. This is okay. People were saying that there's BoE changes. Morning, brother. Hope thou is doing well. Thou is mostly positive, although I'm a little bit confuzzled by why Blizzard are making what feels very arbitrary changes when they clearly have many other things they could be doing. Right, BoEs. What are they doing with BoEs then? Regular, non-boss enemies within a raid will no longer have a chance to drop BoE epic items. Oh, okay. Instead, lieutenant enemies, named mini-bosses throughout the raid, will have chances to drop them instead. These would work like LTs? Is that meant to be short for lieutenants? Or is that short for loot tables? These would work like loot tables do in current WoW, where you're only eligible to receive loot from them once per week per difficulty. Oh, get wrecked BoE farming groups. Oh. See you later, BoE farming groups. That's an interesting one. Leave the profits to the people who do the raid naturally. Alright, fair. BoEs would become scaled with group size like regular bosses do. This would guarantee... Oh, I don't like that word. I don't like that word. A set number of BoEs per raid per group. Each raid per group. Assuming a full clear of the instance. Oh, I don't like that word. I'm not a fan of that word. Lastly, we'd be placing more important items in the BoE pool. This could be anything from weapons to higher item level pieces to make them more worthwhile to raiders. Okay then. First initial thoughts before I read chat. Not looking. Having them not drop from trash it kills the BoE farming groups, which kills an entirely valid gold making method. But on the flip side, it also then promotes raids to bring as many possible people to the group as possible. Because how is this going to interact with the new... I say new, but how's this going to interact with group loot? If you need on a BoE item, is needing on a BoE going to make it soulbound so that they can't be ninjaed? Or are smaller guilds going to now be incentivized to bring a fuckload of spare bodies into the raid to boost up the group size to increase the BoEs that drop? This really, really pushes for bigger raid sizes. Lastly, we'd be placing more important items in the BoE pool. This could be anything from weapons to high item level pieces to make them more worthwhile to raiders. BoEs are already important to raiders. You only need to look as far as the Race to World first. I'm still deliberately not reading chat. I'm getting my first opinions out of the way. I'll catch back up with chat in a second. We've absolutely gone full circle. They might as well just put Master Loot back in. You've gone 359 degrees. That one extra degree is just give people Master Loot back. Which for many people is a big win, right? For organized guilds, I can't imagine this is anything other than a big win. More deterministic BoEs, less competition when it comes to selling them, the group loot system allowing you to distribute the loot more effectively. You are now incentivized to bring as many people to the raid as absolutely possible to increase the group size, to increase the quantity of BoEs that drop. Okay. I can't see raiders having any issues with any of this at all. Right, let me check chat. You just go with a 40-man raid on 22 or 50 tunes, guaranteed drop every time. Yeah, the word guarantee was not one that I particularly liked the look of, but only eligible once per character per difficulty, so not repeatable. True, it does, it does limit the quantity of them that will appear. What you want is a really large raid full of people who have done Mythic Plus. How will the BoEs affect crafting? BoEs affecting the crafting? It's really difficult to work out how that is. I just go by the theory of that they'll run alongside each other until people start simming their characters and working out what their best pieces of gear are. But that still doesn't make too much of an effect on crafting, because if your BIS item for any given slot comes from the raid, you still have to get the boss to drop it, right? Which is a challenge in and of itself. That means that people will, in many cases, happily have a crafted piece of gear in that slot and then replace it at a later date. I'm getting visions of farms where somebody sells extension lockouts on certain bosses to groups of players switching toons so that they can skip the mini boss that drops the loot. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some shenanigans. It's a great change in my eyes. Trash can be skipped now without fear of missing out on the BoEs, and the BoE farms become much harder. Master loot, shit players will ninja loot, and it will always be a problem. Maybe. But, I mean, at this point, you might as well just put it back in. All of that will kill raiding now for people who can't even kill 50% of the raid. Well, surely not, because it only goes quite heavily to promote more pug runs, because GDKP is a thing, right? You only need to look at Classic. GDKP runs, maybe I should clarify ever so quickly for some people that may not necessarily know the ins and outs of it. GDKP runs are pretty simple. You take a group of people in. Some people are considered boosters. Some people are considered buyers. And when a piece of loot drops, everybody bids on that piece of loot. And the person that bids the most gets it. And then that gold is then split across. There are a few different rules. Either it's split across everybody in the raid, which I always feel is the fairer option. That also then means that even if you go in as a buyer, yet you are not able to bid high enough on an item, that you will still leave that raid with a little bit of gold for your time and effort. Or the alternative is that then the gold is only split between the boosters. Either way you do it, it will likely very much become a thing. But people are thirsty, right? Guilds will set up 1 or 2 GDKP runs a week, because they can. It's just easier than boost it, like trying to find people who specifically just want a boost to kill a boss sort of thing. GDKP is pretty manipulative. Oh yeah, it's there's definitely winners and there's definitely losers in the situation, but it's a thing that's been in the game since it existed. The fact they're putting weapons in the BoE pool means the highly desired ones will be more expensive than ever. That's very true. And that also means that for the long-term gold makers out there, weapons hold their value like you would not believe compared to anything else. Which means even once that raid is no longer current, those BoEs will still be highly sought after. Because weapons tend to have, more unique appearances. If people are going to transmog, they tend to put more thought. They often will pick a transmog for their weapon and then build the rest of the set around it, My problem is how Blizzard promised us a good time for crafters in Dragonflight, then you realise that epic crafted items compete against tier sets, uniques, and desirable BoEs. Yeah, but the fact is that they at least compete against. That's the part of your sentence that it should be the thing that you focus on. They're at least going to compete against. In past expansions, crafted gear has practically never competed with any of those. Crafted gear has always historically just been, catch-up gear and the odd piece here or there. This is the thing, right? It's Blizzard never promised us that crafted gear was going to be best in slot. All they said was that Blizzard gear should be competitive with other playstyles. So there's no bigger win than what we currently have. Even if these unique items, even if these unique BoEs end up becoming people's best in slot, they're still not as easily accessible as crafted gear. That's the advantage crafted gear will always have, and why there will always be a market for crafted gear, because it's the easy way to get a piece of gear. It's much, much harder to find a guild that can kill bosses on a regular basis and that's going to be willing to give you the loot than it is to farm up some gold and buy an item off the auction house. It's that barrier to entry. Crafted gear doesn't need to be best in slot. It just needs to be close enough that people care about it. And as long as people care about it, it's people's first option. This is why catch-up gear always sells. Not because it's the best quality, but because it's relevant to people at the time. So I tend to think that this won't have any effect on the crafted side of things at all. I honestly expected there to be 0 raid drop BOEs this expansion. I was considering that might be a thing. With the way that Blizzard have been talking about how BOEs affect the end game and the raiding, I would not have been surprised either to see them just zip them from the game completely. But you know, it's a valid way for some people to get lucky and make a bunch of gold, and there's clearly some guilds out there that fund their raiding through the sale of these BOEs. If you strip BOEs out of a raid, you could quite easily then argue, well, what's the gold making potential through a raid? How do these guilds go about funding themselves? And if you take BOEs out of the mix completely, raids are even more incentivized to go in the other direction of things like selling boosts, which is arguably far more detrimental on the overall game, I feel. My concern is that the BOEs will get more attention because they're on the auction house, where other items are stuck in work orders. Well, yeah. Until we see the work order system. The thing is, we don't even need to see the work order system to know full well that it will not be. The work order system will not be anywhere near as convenient as the auction house. Its inherent nature of that you have to place an order and wait for somebody to fill it means that it will not be anywhere near as convenient as the auction house. This was my one biggest problem with the work order system. That I don't think people will like it because people hate waiting. There is nothing more frustrating in this game to players than deciding that they want something and then having to wait for it. You know, people prefer Amazon to eBay. Yeah, you can instantly buy something on Amazon and you can have it delivered to you within minutes. eBay, you got to bid on it, hope you win it. And then if you do win it, hope you don't get scammed. Some of the work orders may need you to run a dungeon to craft them. There's a lot of little scenarios with a work order system that are going to, you know, kinks in the system that are going to need to be smoothed out. But then the work order system kicks in and you're at the mercy of the buyer price. The BOEs will still enjoy the full auction house experience. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that there is going to be raid BOEs because at least there'll be something of high value in the auction house. I didn't touch the raid BOE market at all in Shadowlands, yet I made the lion's share of my gold in Battle for Azeroth and past expansions flipping raid BOEs. Flipping raid BOEs is one of the most lucrative ways of making gold in this game. Because when they first come out, people don't know what they're valued at. People post them for value that they consider correct. It's very easy to hoover them up and then sell them to somebody else that's willing to pay more for them. And actually, with the guaranteed aspect of them does worry me ever so slightly. The fact that they seem to be claiming that, where was it? This would guarantee a set number of BOEs each raid per group, assuming a full clear. The fact that you can stroll in as a guild and know that by the time you stroll out that you're going to have at least a certain number of these to sell is detrimental to the value of them over time. Because it does just genuinely mean week on week there'll be more of them coming in. And as more people gear up, more people will be able to clear the raid. There'll be exponentially more of them. But that's probably going to be counteracted by the fact that people can't farm them because they don't come from trash anymore. So I'm not entirely sure how much. I'm sure on the bigger servers it makes a lot of difference. I'm sure that the BoE trash farming groups that get put together are, I'm going to go as far as to say at least 50% of the supply of actual BoEs, maybe even more, you know, because when soon as people figure out how to kill the trash on Mythic, those BoE farming groups are running 24/7. Isn't it just less RNG, assuming the same number of BoEs drop as current? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But at least there's going to be something of high value on the auction house, which is good. I've got no real problems with any of this. No real problems with any of this at all. I think generally for the raiding scene, it's a good thing. This is obviously a very good thing for organized guilds. Clearly, being able to trade loot between each other on a more flexible fashion, great. No issues with that at all. I tend to feel that this will push the direction of the game away from the more natural boosting that we know today. It's going to push it closer towards a GDKP boosting scene, but I still feel that that is the lesser of two evils. I equally don't particularly like the GDKP situation, as it does promote, you know, shenanigans, but I still think it's a better solution than just pure boosting. So it was a win in that regard. The unique drops being a thing, it just feels like a weird form of engagement. Just, you know, making it so that guilds do feel it necessary to re-clear every boss, and they will always have a list of people that need that rare item and will need to kill that boss. So maybe, I guess, it'll be easier if, you know, to fill a full raid roster, even for the earlier bosses, for a lot longer. Maybe it's going to help with the pug situation. You know, you tend to see this as a patch goes through. The pugging scene will start off, you know, everybody's hustling and bustling through normal, and then eventually everybody gets a little bit more geared, and the people that are running those pugs tend to step up. They're like, right, now we're going to do heroic pugs, and a lot of the normal pugs start to disappear. And then eventually you get, like, there's even the first few bosses of mythic pugs. And the heroic pugs are less in quantity. Maybe this will keep people pushing or providing pugs for the lower difficulty versions for the chance of getting these slightly more unique ones. Maybe. This is an interesting twist, having some bosses possess more unique items. More unique items is nothing but more good. Always something to strive for, keeping you interested in it. Considering raiding does become, you know, once you've killed the boss once, for some people that's it. They're done. They've killed the boss. They're happy. Yet for some people, this will make it so that there's, you know, a little bit more of an incentive to keep running it, putting it on farm. Something to be chasing. That's where did they say? For clarity, this is not Titan forging. Alright, oh cool. Nothing to complain about. Love it. That's all good. Well, let's check MMO Champion then, because MMO Champion's going to have properly data mined this new patch then. What's kicking with this new patch then? Blah, 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 blah. We've just gone through all of that. Okay. So we have adverts. So we have some new icons, whoop-de-frig. Highlighted items, plundered supplies. No indication. Some Drake Watcher manuscripts, some more cosmetic options for your dragons. Vicious Sabertooth. New PvP mounts, I would assume. A red one for the Horde, a blue one for the Alliance. Nice. Elemental Codex of Ultimate Power, an alchemy recipe. Teaches you how to create elemental potions of ultimate power and potion cauldrons of ultimate power. It's an epic, an epic pattern. That was clearly, obviously, not in the game previously before then. Okay, nice. Does it have a model picture already? The mount probably will do. We'll get to that in a second for sure. Bind on pick up 1,000 reputation with the Valdrakken Accord. Is there going to be an equivalent one of those for all of the factions? And where are they going to come from? Is it going to be... Because 1,000 rep is a 1,000 rep is an entire renown level. For reference. That's an entire renown rank. Memory of Tyr. Tyr's Blessing. There seems to be multiple of these. They're all bind on pickup, interestingly. Maybe these will end up being some form of catch-up. Maybe you'll start being able to buy these later on for... People will cry because they're bind on pickup. Yeah, true, but very early days. Maybe this will end up being just some sort of catch-up system that you'll be able to obtain by doing something. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll start dropping from the weekly quest or something, who knows. How to train a dragonkin. Read the book to gain knowledge needed to befriend lesser dragonkin. It takes the knowledge of dragons to tame their related kin. I read something interesting as well, actually. I read something interesting being that there seems to be, on a weekly basis, guaranteed profession knowledge by killing a dragonkin. And I'm starting to see a few more reports similar to this, of that there seems to be some weird and wacky ways to gain knowledge in a profession, which confuses me because they tend to have absolutely nothing to do with your profession. So what's the sense of it giving you knowledge for your profession? So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that they're not going to just kind of sprinkle knowledge points in random ass things. In place of doing what I think would be the sensible thing of, actually, is the dragonkin kill equivalent of killing a world boss once a week for anima? I think so. I think it might be. Would be annoying, but also very Blizz-like. If you play our game more, you get more. True. But it's, instead of doing the thing that I think they should, such as, having proper quest lines and activities for crafters to do that then provide you with knowledge, if they just sprinkle knowledge points across doing a bunch of arbitrary things that, it achieves the same thing, it's just going to be more grindy, and it doesn't take any effort from their part to do it, because they just take an item and put it on some random mob's loot table and call it a day. It's just lazy. More hamster wheel stuff, yeah. Vakril Strongbox. A box so strong, only the strongest of Tuskars can open it. Alright, sure. Obsidian Forge Master's Cache. Requires level 45. Contains blacksmithing materials, Dragon Isles supplies, rare Dragon Isles artifacts, and Titan relics, as well as a chance for cosmetic Djaradin weapons and armor. Requires level 45? Didn't you get knowledge points on beta from killing mobs from time to time? Well, yeah, it seems to be that little things like that are going to be in the game. Why would you gain knowledge by killing, profession knowledge? It doesn't make any sense to me. There's also like hidden weekly caps to profession knowledge. There's some odd things going on with it from what I've read. If you poke around in the forums, you find a few things. So there's a Forge Master's cache and a Forge Master's strongbox. I should also point out that the strongbox has the word gold wrote on it. Contains blacksmithing materials, gold, dragon oil supplies, rare artifacts and relics, as well as blah 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 blah. Okay. Achievement changes, blah blah blah. Lots of achievement changes. Okay, get reputation with Sibelian or Rathian up. Okay. In Tyr's footsteps, complete the quest achievements listed below. Rewards the bottled essence detector. This bottled essence detector is the long-term way for you to acquire more sparks of ingenuity once you've completed the Tyr's footsteps quest line. So this is likely to be the final quest in the chain. Will award you this thing that will allow you to then get more sparks of ingenuity, presumably at a faster pace than previous, meaning that I would not be surprised then if this quest chain is time gated week by week to begin with, and then after a certain period of time it's just like, right, here's your essence detector, off you go. Discovered your YouTube channel recently, been enjoying the Dragonflight Profession vids. Thanks for the work you put in. You're very welcome. Starkey Cat, welcome. Must be rep caches for callings. Yeah, sounds very similar. Sounds very similar to it. The Obsidian Forge Master Strongbox. I'm cautious of giving out too many spoilers, but in the first zone, the Obsidian Sanctum area, there is weekly based activities up in that area, which this is likely then to be a reward for at some point. Similar in nature to callings, but maybe not quite as repeatable as callings. Some talent changes, spell changes. Class specific spell changes. Oh, racials. I saw somebody muttering about this as well earlier. They've nerfed a whole bunch of the racial affinities for professions, which I'm going to be honest, in my opinion, is a good thing, because I was already contemplating changing the race of a bunch of my crafters, which I would have done, but I would have reluctantly done it. This now limits the benefit that they will have. Drain Eyes Jewel Crafting now only provides 5 instead of 10. Blood Elves only get a +5 instead of a +10. They've sliced them in half by the looks of things. Now 10 skill points is the difference between a couple of days of activities. 5 skill points is practically nothing. No mention of Kultiran. If everything is +5, isn't the blanket +5 from Kultiran just then BIS for everything? You're probably right, actually. They seem to have squished everything down to 5. So yeah, fuck it. Just be Kultiran. And you just get everything. Oh, Kultiran's +2 now. Okay. I mean, at that point, why bother? Honestly, at that point, why bother? Okay. Odd that they didn't talk about it, but But yeah, all right. That's kind of what I would have hoped might have happened anyway. So not too much to say about that. Other than it means I now don't have to, race change a bunch of crafters just to gain 2 days head start on others. Here we go. Here's the actual profession changes then. Fated Fortune Cookie has just had finely ground gemstones removed from it. Good, because good. Mackerel Snackerel has had its name changed from Mackerel Snackerel to Mackerel Snackerel. What's the change? Oh, it's a spelling change. Oh, well, that's remarkably boring. Titan Touched Elemental. Name changed from Order Elemental to Titan Touched Elemental. Ah. Are they going to change the Awakened pattern? The Awakened Essence to be... Are they going to change it from Order to Titan, do you reckon? So, Rousing Titan or Rousing or Awakened Titan. Or are they going to keep it sort of... Because there's not, the herb nodes, for example. In fact, I think we're about to see this. The herb nodes, the Titan touched ones, are the ones that give you the Rousing Order and the Awakened Order. Bubble Poppy is a delicate herb that blow. Okay, so these is just you overload an elemental herb spell. Okay, so this is just a quick change to some wording. Inscription is having some name changes. Fine, whatever. Oh, that's an interesting one. Jewel crafting diamonds have had an increase to materials requirements. They now require 20 primal chaos instead of only 10. I was kind of concerned that these using primal chaos was going to make them remarkably expensive in the first place. But then again, the primal chaos is going to have to be provided by the person that buys the gem. So crafters don't care. Other than there's going to be less inherent desire to buy them because people have to put in more effort. Talk of past time. This is actually a straight up new jewel crafting thing. Spark of Ingenuity and 30 Primal Chaos. What is it? It's a re-8? Oh, they're the... Oh, it's a new tool. What? I don't even know what that is. We'll find out. We'll have a look. There's something called a Dragonflight Reputation Catch-Up Credit. What'll be this then? We'll find that in a second. Fierce Armor Kit's had its name changed. Yeah, here we go. I'm starting to think that this is the thing, right? Infusion Order is being changed to Infusion Titan. Yeah, I think they're probably going to then change Awakened Order to be Awakened Titan and Rousing Titan then. So that, that it's all obvious to what it is and where it comes from and stuff a little bit more so. Dragon Scale Expedition Tent. Sure. Now requires Rainbow Pearls. Oh! Rainbow Pearls. I worked out how you get these things. I worked out how you get Rainbow Pearls. Because it wasn't self-explanatory. How the flippity-doodah did you do it? Those random-ass coins, those gold coins, the gold, silver, and bronze coins that you get, presumably by doing a bunch of fishing, you take those to a big frog dude. Who exchanges them, and you can also then get clams, which gives you rainbow pearls. Yes. A rousing titan. Yeah, something like that. Sounds a bit, Rule 34 to me, but yeah. With the inscription treaties, is it wise to focus in on at the start of the expansion to try and make a quick buck out of those? That same logic is true for practically everything. You want to make a quick buck from as much as you can. The inscription treaties, though, are likely to be a little bit of a cash cow for scribes. That's true. The difficulty so far is that we don't know where half of the recipes for them come from. Okay, Covenant abilities, not really so bothered about these. Oh, it's not actually Covenant abilities, it's the Cobalt Assembly stuff, sure. A quick scout Aruni through some string changes. These can often lead to some interesting finds. Oh, here's the durability changes to res sickness. There's a new quack emote. You can now quack. Something about tinker sockets. Profession equipment, new item accessory help tip. You have a profession accessory that can be equipped into the profession. Oh, okay. So they're doing more to sort of say, oi, put something in this. It will give you a bonus. Select an item to salvage. Oh no. Oh no. Scrapper. Oh no. Profession crafting note. You have not learnt. Okay, sure. Okay, so they are doing some bits and pieces to make this whole crafting system a little bit more self-explanatory, trying to tell you some more stuff in tooltips, which makes sense. Your skill increases the quality of the items that you gather. It is the sum of your base profession skill and bonuses from profession equipment and specializations. Sure. Returning player prompt. We haven't seen you in a while. Would you like to be teleported to your capital city? Smart. Oh, the new unlearn thing. Do you want to unlearn X profession and lose all associated recipes? Your specialization knowledge will remain should you choose to return to this profession. Type unlearn in the box. Scrappy yay, expulsum nay. Love that. So yeah, that's clarification, even in game now. If you drop a profession, drop your profession, and then take it back up again at a later date, your knowledge is maintained. Now, I don't know what shenanigans there could potentially be around cycling professions like that, but assume this unlearn means you can't use it to cycle artisan's metal. Well, you could never cycle the same profession for artisan's metal anyway, but there is, what is it, like 8 crafting professions you could cycle through to level them all up to gain a bunch of artisan's metal from, but a lot of these changes are largely about lots of polish, makes it feels like we're getting a fair bit closer. Yeah, this is the finishing touches stuff. A lot of this is finishing touches stuff. That means that there is clearly now come a point where actual development on the systems, they're like, right, this system's ready. Now let's, fine tune it, polish it, smooth out all the kinks. And it at least means that there's a fair few developers devoted to doing this sort of stuff right now. New emotes. The new quack emote, look. You pretend to be a duck. Quack. That's funny. You can now be a duck, sure. Why are they differentiating between regular, paragon, and renown? I don't know. Oh no! Silver Dragon's really not coming back. Oh no, Silver Dragon's not coming back. Look, they're even removing it from game tips. A monster with a star beneath its portrait is a rare monster. Ah, rest in peace, Silver Dragon. If they're changing the in-game tips, it's that's like announcing your relationship status on Facebook. It's official. Silver Dragon's dead. Silver Dragon's dead. Rest in peace, Silver Dragon. Ironically, in an expansion that's about dragons. Group finder activities, blah, 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 blah. Item name descriptions, tinker modules. What's a tinker module? Are we going to have to go and investigate engineering, I reckon? Map areas. The Artisans Market, the Bronze Enclave, the Emerald Enclave. Okay, so they're clearly now finally getting around to putting some map icons in Valdrakken, hopefully. What's this? Bunch of ground mounts. What are these? The Forbidden Reach in Valdrakken. Bunch of mounts. I get the PvP mounts, I don't get these other ones. Alright, fine. What I don't see mentioned here, but I have a screenshot from earlier, is Primal Summon being needed to turn Primal Chaos into Primal Infusion. Okay. Throw it up in the Discord or something. Okay, so these were the actual patch notes. We went through this. Bunch of class stuff. And then Dragonfly beta key giveaways. Blizzard doesn't love me. Okay, sure. Create concentrated primal infusion. Combine 10... Hang on. Create concentrated primal infusion. Combine 10 concentrated primal foci with 150 primal chaos to create a concentrated primal infusion. Requires 150 primal chaos, concentrated primal focus times 10. Create a primal infusion. Combine 10 primal Foci with 100 primal chaos to make the primal infusion. Okay then, so that's clearly what's going to be the currency that drops from the raid then. This primal Foci stuff. And then you're probably going to have primal Foci and then concentrated primal Foci that will drop from Mythic, I would guess. We're watching you not because of beta keys, but because of you and your content. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, that's clearly going to be some sort of currency that drops from the raid then, but it's also going to push the fact that Primal Chaos is going to be the linchpin to all of this. I was somewhat slightly concerned that Primal Chaos would lose its focus because these top-end things would just drop from the raid. But what it ultimately means is that every man and their dog is still going to, even once they get the currency that they need from the raid, going to also need to get Primal Chaos. So now, equally, Primal Chaos itself could also drop from Mythic Plus and the raids and whatever, but let's see. It's pronounced Foci. I'm going with Foci. Sounds better. Say Foci 3 times. Got myself a case of Foci. Okay. It's odd that that's not in the patch notes anywhere. Where did this come from? Or was this an elaborate Photoshop designed to confuse me? As that's interestingly not in here anywhere. From the post you were looking at, it's been removed since I saw it earlier. Oh, really? From this one? Did I accidentally gloss over it, or is it just not there? That would have been up here somewhere. That would have been up in the profession changes. That would have been up here somewhere. I wonder why they'd have removed it. Okay. Either way, I guess it's time to load the beta up and have a little bit of a poke about. I think it was after the Rainbow Pearls bit. Yeah, I'd have expected it to be in the crafting profession section. If you're planning on testing things, I'd suggest the Valdrakken server in case it's more stable than others at the moment. Well, that's all good and well if we're doing profession stuff, but I need to have a little bit of a zip about the main world, I reckon. Have a little look at if we can spot any more under the radar changes. Patch notes tend to only tell half the story. You tend to need to dig about and dive about a bit. I might just do a little bit of a, a simulation of just playing the game to see what happens. Sometimes Blizzard asks the data miners to remove things for some reason or another. This might be something that they want held back for some reason. Maybe. It's not like people weren't suspecting that the raid is going to drop something anyway. Get ready for massive lag spikes and disconnects. Stay out of the waking shores. Okay. Why have I got a pigeon following me all of a sudden? A messenger eagle. Call of the hunt. Roki drops another note into your hand. Manthe, clan fella face, invites you to the grand hunt. Meet with the trainer Frodrum in the Yanaran Plains. Oh, okay. Sure. I'll see you later, pigeon. It's nice knowing you. So, we've got some new world quests that we need to work through. Call to the hunt. That's not the Anaran Plains. Oh, what's this? The Dragon Scale Expedition needs your assistance. With what? This is a new icon. Tracking options. Yeah. Go away. Can I get rid of that somehow? What am I meant to be doing? Tracking options, something have been simplified, and many will appear conditionally when appropriate. Okay. Track warboards. Just track everything. How? Go away. Shoo. Oh no, it won't go away. Options, help thingies. Where do we turn off all help thingies? General. Move 3. Move your 3 ability keybind. Okay. I'm not moving my whole UI just to press a stupid X button. Oh, well, apparently I am. Okay. Well, if I move this, then close it. Oh, fuck off! Are we done? We're done. Right. Oh, genius. What a wonderful system. I think it was about there. Well, it is now. Are we good? Are we good? We're good. Oh, look, why is my Drake all shiny? He looks cool. Since when did he get all shiny? The player frame is broken and doesn't show health loss. Be warned. Is it really? No, mine does. Yours is broken, mine's good. Turn off your add-ons, man. My renewed Proto Drake apparently is all shiny today for some reason. Super Saiyan Blue, yeah, probably. Right. Like I said, I'm going to probably for the most part today just simulate what playing the game feels like, because exploration usually, showcases a few things. I need to go to Valdrak and I need to pick up my making a name quest for the week before I do much else. For the last week or so, I've practically not really played the beta. I've just been spending the majority of my time on the test realm playing around with professions, so. Shiny dragon, but the summon animation is gone. Oh yeah, he used to just swoop in and you opt on his back. Yeah, you're right. I'm not a fan of this new rare icon, Can't lie. Rockin' mining gear, dressed in mining equipment. Where's that come from? I was warned. I was warned. Should I listen to the advice I'm given, maybe? Yeah, the 4-point star thing, not a fan. Not a fan. Oh no! Oh no! It's back. How do I turn these off? How do I turn these off? Tutorials I've already got switched off. Oh lord. Yeah, the tutorials are already switched off. Apparently the game doesn't care. Oh, Jesus. Okay. We do it this way. We do it this way. We get rid of you. We get rid of you. We put it back where it was before. Sort of. And then we do a reload because that should save it. What's all of this, why is there all this pollen kicking about? Or fireflies or something. Oh no. Oh, more bees. We if this continues to be a pattern, we may end up testing more professions. If this continues to be a pattern, I might not have much choice. The not selling loot bug is also not. Yeah, if it's buggy as all hell, we might not. I mean, I'm not fighting through disconnects for no reason. Why were those showing up with an orange? Oh no, they've changed the orange outline ones and they've given them a purple outline. No! Oh, phooey. I was getting quite comfortable ignoring the orange outline ones. Now I'm going to get distracted. Now my treasures don't stand out from the crowd. See, these are all the little changes that you don't spot until you play the game. Trying to mess around with professions was rough this morning with that. Had to manually delete everything. Oh dear. It's not what we want. Flying far too fast to spot things on the map. So there's now the fishing hole is moved. We've got 2 different fishing holes available. We got the fishing hole by the ruby life pools. Do these fishing holes last for as long as they last by the looks of things? Because this one's been up here forever. I'll spot anything new on the minimap. I'm intrigued to see why the Dragon Scale base camp needs my assistance. But let's go grab... Oh, my fishing icon's changed, look. Now it's actually a fish and a hook. Click the button whilst facing a body of water, then click the bobber when it splashes. New fishing icon. Shiny, shiny. Did Blizzard change the loot table on the rep vendors? Don't know. We should probably check that. I know I've just come from the Tuskar place, but we should probably check that again, shouldn't we? Okay, making a name, it now gives you an indication of what you're going to get from this now, which is good. Valdrakken treasure, and then a bunch of rep with everybody. Or a bunch of rep with the main 4, at least. It's a little bit more self-explanatory. There's a quest up here from Caligos. There's a quest from down here. There's loads of quests kicking about. I've not been doing a good job of keeping on top of my quests, though, so there's likely to be... What are you? Herbalism trainer. Give me my herbalism quest, then. Get their bark before they bite. Gather 8 writhe bark. Gain 3 knowledge and 25 rep. I should be able to turn this straight in, right? Quality 2. Boom, there we go. Have your herbs. Oh, what happened there? Your reputation with the Artisans Consortium increased by 500. The Dragon Isles branch is now respected. So, there's an indication to where the Artisan Consortium rep comes from. That was, maybe your weekly quest is going to be your main source of reputation with these guys. Because I kind of hit a cap and wasn't able to seemingly get past it, so that makes sense. If I go do the mining one, am I going to get another 500 rep? This thing seems to fly very differently to the other dragon mounts. +3 knowledge. Gather 15 rousing earth. Do I not have 15 rousing earth? I have 5 rousing earth. Do I have awakened earth? No. That's annoying. I was hoping I could just insta-hand that in. Apparently not. Apparently not. Okay, I guess we'll have to find out at a later date then. Where's the quest over here? What's this? Scourge of the Flightless. Proving in battle. Obtain honor in a random battleground. Multi-modular anima container. What? What? Infuse 250 stored anima into your Covenant's reservoir. What? Since when are we back in Shadowlands? Ah! No, I don't care about anima anymore. Okay, sure. I'm going to take the quest just so it gets it off my map. I'm not going to do it though. Right. Are you going to do or say anything new today? Rabul, talk to me, my man. Oh, these have changed again. Oh, Lord have mercy. Not only have they changed 15 knowledge. 15 knowledge for now only 100 artisans metal? Okay. $15 knowledge for 100 artisans metal. Dusty miner's notes. Ah, that's how they're doing it. It looks like they're going to step them up then. You need to then be valued reputation with them. Only one of these may be purchased, but your incentive is still very greatly to get as many of these as quickly as you can. Plus 15 knowledge, 100. plus 15 knowledge, 200, plus 15 knowledge, 300. But you may only purchase one now. Okay. The profession recycle is more interesting now. Well, you clearly want to save up 600 artisans metal. I would safely say that you would want to buy these as quickly as possible. These are going to be an almost insta buy though, because you can just by we've already worked it out that just by crafting practically one of everything with your profession, you'll get 100 artisans metal, meaning that you should be able to buy this very, very quickly. Now, I'm dependent on just how easily reputation becomes a thing with the Artisans Consortium. You can see I need another practically 3,000 reputation with these guys before I'll get the next level, which could be, if you only gain like 500 rep from them for the weeklies, it could be a serious amount of time before I'd even be able to buy these. Maybe this is something. Okay, maybe Blizzard are sort of listening in a way that dropping these first ones down to only 100 artisans metal makes it far easier for most people to get them without doing any shenanigans. And even if you do shenanigans, such as rotating your professions, it's not going to be that beneficial to you for the simple reason that you're going to be reputation gated anyway. You're most likely going to be reputation gated before you can get these. And by the time you have the reputation, you'll probably have been able to acquire the artisan's metal to buy them naturally anyway. It just means these become an insta buy the second you hit the right reputation levels, which is good. Good because it wasn't good previously. I guess that it was far more open to abuse previously. This is better. I still don't particularly like it. I'm not a fan of being able to buy knowledge in the first place. But unfortunately, they don't seem to be treating knowledge quite like I'd expected them to. They seem to just be dashing it about willy-nilly for doing all sorts of random things. The discounted bag of goods. I've bought these a few times. They've been... Whoa, okay. They've been basically a... What's going on? Basically a big old bag of nothing for the most part. We'll buy a few more again now just to see if they've changed their loot table. Oh, that's knowledge points. I should use that. I'm doing this manually because my sort button still doesn't work, just for reference. There's those seeds. I need to do something with those at some point as well. Pocket lint, jeweled spyglass, and a snake firework. Well, that was the worst snake I've ever seen. Do it again. Well, that's trash. Okay. Red firework. Serpent's heart firework. Boom. Darling Moldraxi doll. Oh! Oh, our first thing of actual use. Sort of. 3 tidal amethysts. Okay. Sure. Broken voice modulator. Some mist scale. Hey! I've always wanted some mist scale. Back in flipping BFA all of a sudden. What's going on? Torn vicious saddle. Yeah, they've clearly got a bit of a scuffed loot table right now. Clearly a little bit Oh. Oh, vendors don't take your shit. Okay. Well, in that case, then. You guys knew that. You baited me into filling my inventory full of trash, look. Got 20 wool, though. Oh, no, it's not even 20 wool. It was pocket lint. Even worse than wool. Right. Oh, my lord. Yeah, go away. Study herbalism, go. That was... I've only got 6 points. 6 points. I need to put another 5 in here, right? Learn a sub-spec. No, Titan Touched. Specialise in Titan Touched herbs, gaining +1 skill point in this spec. +10 finesse when gathering Titan Touched herbs. Plus finesse whilst gathering Titan Touched. Plus skill when gathering Titan Touched. Plus perception. Overload reduction. The amount of overload cooldown refunded by gathering herbs is increased by a small amount. Is this same node in all of them? It is. Do I want +5 deafness when gathering herbs that are elementally charged? I need 10 points for the next sub-spec, plus 10 skill whilst gathering elementally charged herbs. Sure. Why was I really over here, though? Other than investigating what Rabul had to sell. Oh, there's a couple of reasons I was here over here, actually. For the fact that he sells patterns. Now, what it doesn't do is tell me what I need to buy them, which means I clearly have the reputation already with these guys to buy this. But I don't know what it is. I was going to fill out my cheat sheet a touch with some of the engineering schematic. Engineering schematic red firework. Red firefly, I guess it is. Let's just call it a... It's not technically renown, it's a reputation. You need... I don't know what you need. Artisans Consortium. Is that how we spell it? I always have to check the spelling because I'm dog shit at spelling. Artisans Consortium. Let's just claim you need to be respected. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Artisans Consortium. 3 out of 5. Artisans Consortium, 3 out of 5. And then you need... Hang on. You need... How many points in the profession? How many points in engineering? 50 points in Dragon Isles engineering. Lord have mercy. And you buy it from Rabble. What do we also have? Some missives. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. The crafting missives you get through gaining reputation with these fellas. What happens if you buy those notes? Do they completely disappear from the vendor? I would buy one. I believe they do say one time only, so they should do. How did you learn to pull your first WoW API into the Google Sheet? Yeah, well, I didn't strictly copy paste the one that there is a default template one that you can use to start with, and I took that and then tweaked it a little bit. Because the default one, you know, dumps all of your stuff into like 2 separate sheets, and I wanted it all, you know, I just tweaked it a touch. But Sept, you made the original one for me. Can you say if you know what professions craft the special gear for Alchemist Harvester? There's a tweet I will link you to. Has anybody got the link to Preheat's tweet? There we go. Cheers, Hoflas. Thank you. Check that one out. Preheat from Limit did a little bit of a sheet of all of the profession stuff. Right, so the crafting tool missives. Inspiration, crafting speed, multi-craft, resourcefulness. We're going to get some of them from here. So, missive of resourcefulness. It's... Hang on. Just so I keep things looking the same. Artisans Consortium. Now, I don't know. Technically, I can already buy this if I had the profession. Do I claim it's 3 out of 5, even though I don't know? I don't know. I'm going to. Right. Technique missive of multi-craft is the same. I'll sanity check these in a second. Draconic missive of inspiration. Wasn't that supposed to be... I thought... Wasn't... Okay. These are going to be really important for scribes, by the way. Especially the inspiration one. This is cash in the bank. I'm telling you now. Cash in the bank. Please tell me there's a 4th one, a crafting speed one. There is. Boom. Wonderful. The hive mind is working well today. It's got all the answers. Yeah, I don't even need to be here. You guys have got this. You guys have got this. Draconic missive of perception. Missive of finesse is the same. Missive of Deafness is there as well. It's the same. 35 skill points in Inscription. And then you're going to head over to Rabul and he's going to sell you all of your goodies. All of the goodies. What else have we got here? More engineering stuff. Portable alchemy lab. That's gonna be a win. Is the old portable alchemy lab, that's for sure. Engineering 50 though. What should be noted actually is that all of these, not only are you going to need to unlock them, but you're going to need to buy them with Artisan's Metal. I wonder if that's something I should probably jot down in my sheet. Because you know, you might need to do something about saving up some of your metal to buy these. You can't insta. It's not just a rep requirement. But a lot of these do seem to be like level 35, level 50. You're going to need to do most of the hard work. Your portable Tinker's workbench is going to be the same. Schematic blue firelight. Engineering 50 for a pissing firework. That's got to annoy people, surely. Aerated vial of quick hands. Alchemy one, okay. Aerated vial of quick hands. Okay, that's the last of the air vials that we needed to find. Only needs Dragon Isles Alchemy 10. Oh, that's a win. That's a win. Get that one nice and quick. $50's like day one for a lot of people. Yeah, true. But it's at the top end. It's certainly at the top end for sure. As we were looking yesterday, we looked at both leatherworking and jewel crafting yesterday, both of which had a somewhat logical place to stop before level 50. Leatherworking, I think it was as ridiculously low as 35 skill points before it started to make a lot of sense to go out and start specializing rather than just crafting things for skill points. Jewel crafting, I think we got into this low 40s, 42 or something, before it became sensible to stop. I wonder if that pattern's going to continue. I sense people pushing to 50 though. I can't remember who made the point. Somebody made the good point though of that pushing to 50. People might want to push to 50 because that's when you open the second spec tree. And that might be crucial for some people. Just unlocking that second spec tree might give people a bump somewhere that they might need. So it may be that some people, you know, end up just crafting dumb shit that is just a waste of gold, but just to get those extra points, just to unlock the second tree. And then from 50 onwards, though, it's almost categorically a grind. Stable fluidic draconium. What is this? A finishing reagent. When crafting, increases bonus skill from inspiration by 25%. What an utterly pointless finishing reagent. You got to... What would you use that on? I guess you'd only use that if you were crafting, like... What would you use that on? Usable with many Dragon Isles blacksmithing and mail armor recipes. But you've got to hope that inspiration procs in the first place. You could use a finishing reagent with no guarantee that it'll do anything. That feels completely pointless. That needs to be more... That feels like it should be more like an alchemy potion sort of thing. Pop a potion, it lasts 3 minutes. And when crafting, if inspiration procs, it gives you more bonus. That's a finishing reagent, though. That seems utterly dumb. Unbelievably dumb. Alright, sure. I mean, if you math it out, and a 25% increase to your inspiration would push you to a next quality level, it makes sense. But that still doesn't guarantee that your inspiration is going to proc in the first place. And if you're trying to push to higher quality levels, if you're still at that stage, your inspiration proc chance is not going to be very high. Very weird. Okay, sure, whatever. Good luck with that one, alchemy. What was it called? Stable fluid draconium something or other. Why is it not on my list? Oh, it is. A stable fluid draconium something or other. There it is. You can pick that. You need alchemy 50 to even craft that thing. I'm sure people will craft them, and I'm sure some people will buy them. It's the way with most things in this game. Never again will I be surprised when somebody buys something, because weird things do happen. Blacksmithing recipe by the looks of things. Armor spikes. Okay, this could be a big one. Blacksmithing 25. Oh my god, there's pages of stuff. This dude holds everything. This dude has got everything. Technique, contract, artisans consortium. Requires valued reputation with the artisan consortium. That's a 4 out of 5. It's inscription though, right? Inscription. Contract, artisans consortium. It's going to be artisan consortium 4 out of 5. And you're going to need to have the skill of a 40 skilled scribe, which should be no problem by the time you get to 4 out of 5. I sense we might have a pattern from here on outwards. They might all start to require valued reputation. It appears they do. So most of the patterns from here on out are going to be quite heavily time-gated, I feel. Enchant Tool, Draconic Deafness. Enchanting of the tools. Where have I put those? Here we go. Draconic Deafness. Artisan Consortium 4 out of 5. You require Enchanting 25. Draconic Finesse. Pick 2 up in one go. Yeah. Crafters, beware. If you want to collect all of the patterns, save up some of your artisan's metal. Oh, thanks for that, game. I was in the middle of doing something. Yeah. It was very clear early on that you're going to have to choose wisely where to spend these artisans' metal. Pissing them up the wall on recrafting stuff over and over again is going to be a mistake, I think, if you are the crafter. All the more reason for only accepting work orders where the buyer has put forward their artisan's metal. If people are trying to say that, oh, well, this is a thing that crafters will have loads of, yeah, you can get bent. The finesse one was this. 25 skill was needed. Okay, and perception is there as well. Okay, so there's the last. There's the last one of the profession tool enhancements found. 25 skill again. Schematic Blackfire Flight. Another engineering one. $50 engineering. Casgarite encased Samoflange. The hell is a Samoflange? That sounds like a made up word to me. Samoflange is not a real thing, right? Surely. That's like a combobulator. Any Omni tool coveted by an engineer worth their bolts, despise the fact that no one, not even its inventor, knows how to properly use it. Samoflange is the quest from the barons. Is it really? Where do metals come from? Haven't really looked into it. Artisan's metal, you get 5 of them every time you craft something for the first time. There's a weekly quest that seems to dish out a fixed amount to you. Much outside of that, they're not really that easy to get your hands on. So spending them wisely is key. Engineering schematic though. Schematic Casgarite encased something or other. Casgarite encased Samoflange. Oh, now you see, this is also apparently from the trainers. So this is where this is where there's a conflict of interests here. Maybe it's no longer, the fact that it's here leads me to believe it's no longer from the trainers. Okay, I'm going to override that. Oh no, it's Casgarite. This is not Draconium. This is Casgarite. Encased Samof. Ah, there we go. So it's the better one. You get the basic bitch one from the trainer, but the better one comes from here. Makes sense. You need to be engineering 50 for that one. Casgarite brainwave amplifier. Also from here. 50 skill. Alexstrasite Lupez. Top quality jewel crafting accessory. Oh, We looked at this literally yesterday. Literally yesterday, we tested leveling up jewel crafting, and this was the reason we pushed to 45, because you unlocked this. Do you now not? Okay. Conflicting informations. Maybe... Am I more willing to trust it comes from here? Am I more willing to trust it comes from a trainer? I'm going to say that they've probably changed it, and it now comes from here, not from the trainer. It did seem remarkably powerful for it to come from a trainer, which felt a bit weird, so this makes more sense. Jewel crafting skill of 45. It's got the same jewel crafting skill requirement. It now requires you to be 4 out of 5, and it requires 75 artisan's metal to buy it. I guess that's more actually in line than just learning it from a trainer. There's literally here. You should look to craft the Alexstrasite Lupes, but this requires a lot of artisan's metal to craft. Literally the reason we pushed to 45. Otherwise, you'd probably stop at 42. Oh Lord, this is why doing a lot of this stuff on the beta is frustrating, because shit like this changes, and unless you go and find it, you don't know. You know, this is why change logs need to be a thing. Patch notes are great, but change logs are almost more important. What's changed from one patch to the next is key. But they deliberately obviously don't want to tell you all of this stuff. Alchemy potion. Because let's be honest, this is probably something that Blizzard would prefer people not to do. I know I'm almost part of the problem in this regard. That people going through the beta and breaking it down in as much detail as we tend to is half of the problem. But at the same time, when the tools are there, why not use them? Potion of Augmentation. Oh no, this is another finishing crafting reagent. This should be a potion. Why is this not a potion? When crafting, increase inspiration by 30 and multi-craft by 27. I mean, that makes more sense because it's directly up it. That's an extra 3% inspiration and a 2.7 increase to multi-craft. So if you maybe attach that and then go off and craft 1,000 potions, that starts to make a lot of sense. That one makes more sense because it's actually guaranteed to do something. And in alchemy terms, it's actually a big win. Usable with most Dragon Isle's alchemy potion recipes. That starts to make a lot of sense. A lot more sense than the other one we saw a minute ago. Okay. Was that? Oh no, that was alchemy 50. Still valued. Esteemed. Okay, so there's only 4 that you unlock at esteemed, which is 5 of 5. Another alchemy one, though. Place down a pleasant incense that soothes the mind of everybody nearby, granting increased inspiration by 10 minutes. Slightly counterproductive, because what goblin wants to help somebody else make something at a higher quality? Why would you want to directly enhance your competition? But sure. This is why what you do as an alchemist is you get the pattern to make a portable crafting table, and then you scurry off to the corner where nobody's looking, then drop your incense, and then do your crafting. Fuck everybody else, right? Okay. Do they stack like the cooking fire buff? Not sure. I'm not sure. I've not actually tested them. Primal razor stone. What's this? Sharpen your blade, increasing attack power by 162. Blacksmithing, right? Blacksmithing. What was it called? Primal razor stone. There's primal razor stone. Found ya. Consortium 4 out of 5. Blacksmithing 40. There we go. That's fine. Vibrant polishing cloth. What's this? Tailoring. Is it not an optional reagent? Oh, it's a finishing reagent. That I can't find. No, it's here. There we go. Got it. 4 out of 5. Tailoring 35 skill. Buy it from a bull. Pattern artisan sign. Leatherworking 35. Ah, now that's also meant to come from a trainer. But it's a toy. Once again, makes more sense for it to come from somewhere like this, to be honest. Leatherworking 35. Oh, hang on. I clearly skipped a bunch of stuff there. Let's make sure I don't miss those. This is a Steam. This is 5 out of 5. This is big boy territory. Let's make sure I don't miss these. Chromatic embroidery thread. More tailoring. Here's spell threads. What was it called? Chromatic embroidery thread. Tailoring 30. There's a bunch of spell threads, but oh, it's here. Oh, it's here. It was even selected. Tailoring 30. When crafting, increase bonus skill from inspiration by 7% and crafting speed by 15%. Most Dragonals tailoring embroidery and garment recipes. These seem so dumb. A lot of these finishing reagents feel really dumb. They're just like, why? Increases the bonus skill of inspiration. Well, you've got to get inspiration to proc first. And if you're crafting gear, you're not crafting 20 pieces of gear. You're crafting like 1, 2, or 3. Your inspiration isn't going to make a blind bit of difference. To use one of these every time is just adding extra levels of cost that people are just not going to do. And crafting speed doesn't make any difference when you're only crafting 3 things. Seems really weird. They seem like, you know, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like, we need something for tailors because tailors don't have something. Let's just make up some guff so that it, you know, fills the slot. Doesn't make any sense. Right, more fireworks. More fireworks. We have a green firework. If I was a engineer, I would not really be best impressed with having to grind reputation out to esteemed, which is 5 out of 5 to fire a firework, you know. But I suppose not everything needs to be super cool. We did the artisan sign. Scroll of sales is inscription. You don't actually expect better from Blizzard, do you? I would like to. Scroll of sales. I don't think it's crazy to at least wish. Wow, you only need inscription 5 for that. That's easy. And then finally the Artisans Consortium tabard, which we won't be getting anytime soon. Okay, right. That's done bits to answer a whole bunch more questions. That's another reputation worth of stuff tracked. I should also note that while I'm here, I remember this dude selling a bunch of things as well. You also sell stuff. Lots of stuff. You sell lots of stuff for Dragon Isle supplies. You've got 3 pages of patterns. Yesterday on the beta, I used some finishing reagents and they were not consumed when crafting. I thought that to be a bug, but maybe with this weird stuff, it's not. Yeah, it's the finishing reagents, they seem to... They weren't necessarily always consumed on use, but I think they were consumed when you then crafted a different pattern or something. Maybe we can choose a finishing reagent every time when crafting. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they have like a charge system or something that it can be used. I don't know. Either way, it was not super obvious what they did, and a lot of them felt a bit... I'm going to be honest, I don't think they'll make it to live. It's one of those things that I think that Blizzard will look at it and be like, "This, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it." They did that with optional reagents at the beginning of Shadowlands, let's not forget. What we got in patch 9.2, the progenitor enhancements, the first iteration of that appeared on the Shadowlands beta as just regular optional reagents, which ended up getting canned before Shadowlands went live, and we never saw them throughout most of the expansion, and then they popped up as progenitor enhancements towards the end. But I feel these finishing reagents have a similar fate. They seem a bit sort of dumb for... I don't think they add any value. Right, I'm going to need to jot down all of these as well. I really should have probably I suppose if it comes from Rabble, it's going to cost you. I'm just wondering, the fact that these are going to... It's more than just a reputation that's needed to buy these. You need supplies and stuff as well. Whether I should be noting this down as well, really. I don't know. I'm going to grab a drink, though, quickly, boys and girls. Occupy yourselves for 2 minutes. And I'm going to go grab a drink, and then we'll continue on. Alrighty. Oh, right. Let's track these ones. I'll tell you what, there can't be many more. There can't be many more vendors out there. Our cheat sheet has got to start looking pretty full by now, surely. If it, what have I done? Is it broke? We got to start. Okay. We're getting there. Inscription has a few gaps. A couple of profession equipment pieces are still missing. Practically all of the dragon riding appearances are missing. The draconic treaties are still missing. The contracts are clearly going to just come from each one. I just need to confirm it. And then there's a bunch of illusion stuff. Okay, maybe we're not quite as close as I thought. Let's add these into the mix then. Some enchanting stuff. Enchant boots, watcher's loam. Oh, these are going to be annoying to track because these are all different renown levels. Okay. Enchant boots, boots, watcher's loam, renown, Valdraken 11, you need 25 skill, and it comes from, who's this fella called? What's his name? His name is Doritos. Dothanos, trade coordinator. Okay. He also has enchant cloak, homebound speed. Enchant cloak, homebound speed. You need renown 11, 25 skill. Schematic. Tinker, grounded circuitry. Guarantees the next slotted tinker use to succeed. The cooldown on this effect is reduced at higher qualities. Why don't I remember these tinker businesses? Why don't I remember these tinker modules from engineering? Maybe because I've not paid much attention to engineering. We need to have another look at engineering, don't we? What was it called? Schematic, tinker, grounded, something or other. Tinkers, grounded circuitry. There we go. Valdraken needed 11 and then 50 skill in engineering. Oh, Alchemist's trinket comes from here. Renown 14 with Valdraken Accord. Wow. Alchemists aren't going to get their... Alchemists are not going to get their trinket anytime soon. Whoa, okay, sure. You've got the option of sustaining alchemy stone. You you can get the one from the Maroks at renown 13 or the one from Valdraken at renown 14. You need 25 points and you get it from this. I need to go back actually, and I need to update the Marok fellas, the centaurs, because I clearly didn't put anywhere near enough information in this. Details are critical. I still think that I'm still wondering whether I should put the currency that's used to buy it as well. But let's be honest, by the time you've got 14 renown with Valdraken, you're going to be flooded with Dragonel supplies, so it shouldn't be a problem. If you don't have enough, go get some. Easy solution. Right, plans, blacksmithing, Black Dragon Seed, Invoker. What is that? One-handed mace. Black Dragon Seed, Invoker. Renown 14 and blacksmithing 50. You'll be flooded with supplies if you play the character enough. Well, you're going to have to play the character enough to get your reputation up that high. It's kind of, part and parcel. You'd struggle to do one without doing the other. Black Dragon Seed Claymore. 14 and skill 50. This is exactly what I wanted from the expansion, though. A lot of people are probably looking at this and thinking, oh my god, this is a lot of hard work. But that's kind of exactly what I wanted it to be. For the last expansion or two, you could quite clearly put BFA in this category as well. For the past couple of expansions, professions have been just like super easy mode. And when everything is in super easy mode, guess what happens to the gold making opportunity from it? You need these barriers to entry. You need it to be that, only people that put in the effort, and then those that do put in the effort get the reward for a lot longer. In BFA, you pretty much, well, we got the threads of, what were they called? What were they called? Halfway through BFA, we got those extra tools that you could go out and get. They also bumped up the skill level a few bits and pieces. But for the most part, getting the patterns was a piece of piss. Then all you had to do is just do a little bit of reputation to get the better quality patterns. So BFA was the better of the two. Shadowlands was just tragic. Actually tragic. Apart from the fact that in Shadowlands you could level up to skill 100 in about 5 minutes flat. Then you pretty much needed to do like grind one reputation and you'd have a pattern. Like, it was just so dull. So dull. If I tell you what, if Shadowlands didn't have legendaries, oh my lord. Which, it was a real shit show for profession. Clearly and easily one of the worst expansions for professions I think ever was Shadowlands. The irony being is that it's also the expansion that most people made most gold, but because of legendaries. If you were to strip legendaries from the mix, the entire thing was a joke. Chronocloth Sash tailoring. That's going to be tailoring. Chronocloth Sash. Yeah, legendaries literally carried the professions. The optional reagents system was the Crafter's Mark system. It did its bit. But it was, crafting the same thing and just slightly upgrade. Truth be told, Dragonflight may succumb to the same death, other than the fact that at least Dragonflight is exponentially more interesting to begin with. We don't know how they're going to deal with progression on top of these crafting. We might have a really, really fun patch 10.0 for crafting. But what are they going to do in 10.1? What are they going to do in 10.2 to progress progress from this. If they just, go, here's a bunch of new optional reagents, it's kind of like, oh. I really hope that they take this level of detail and continue with it, but they'll only do that if it's a raving success. This is the problem, right? They'll only push forward and continue with this amount of effort in the crafting stuff if people take to it nicely. If everybody goes, crafting professions are too complicated, they're too difficult, there's too much complexity to them, and the rewards aren't good enough, then they'll do like they do with most things in the game. They'll can it. They'll ditch it, and they'll move on, and they'll do something else. Which I really hope doesn't happen. Because the only reason I'm putting in so much effort to this right now is because I think it's going to be really fun. First patch, going to be crazy good. I'm going to have loads of incentive to be leveling my alts. Loads of incentive to be collecting all the recipes and patterns. And I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait. Azurweave slippers. Where have they gone then? Oh, they're here. Azurweave slippers, renowned 14, skill 50. Technique, cliffside. Oh, here we go. We're actually starting to get some of the inscription Drake patterns, the dragon riding appearance patterns. What is ultimately replaced glyphs, by the way. What have I done here? That's not correct. I think the quality thing's just going to become a pain in the ass, especially come the late game. Well, it kind of blends itself out. It's slow. The quality system slowly but surely just disappears. As you stack on skill, and once you start exceeding the skill, once you start exceeding the difficulty rating of the pattern, you then stop relying on having higher quality materials. And so the quality system, at least from the input side, starts to wither away. And if you're already then creating stuff at max quality, then it's also withered away from the output side. So it will ultimately end up being is that once you've worked with your profession enough, the quality becomes less impactful from both sides, both from the input and from the output. You no longer need to worry about the quality materials, so you just use the cheap stuff, you use the quality 1 materials, and you've got so much skill in that profession that you're guaranteeing quality 5 crafts each time. So at that point, all of the options, all of the variables are just removed, and you have an input and an output, and it's back to normal again. The quality system's only really going to be impactful for whilst people are still leveling up, which is why I wanted the knowledge to be drip fed to us slowly, so that process lasts longer. If everybody gets knowledge points too quickly, they'll just burn through it really, really fast. And soon as you start being able to craft everything at max quality, and you then don't, the entire system falls apart very quickly. A year and a half from now, anything not at max rank or max quality will basically be worthless. Probably. This is a downside of this system, that it does have a finite lifespan to it. The system only works for as long as there are under-leveled players. By the time people start maxing it out, by the time people, have gathered enough knowledge points to start filling their spec trees, most of the system falls apart, and we end up back with a system very similar to what we had through all the previous expansions. Which is why I'm keen to see what they're going to do to build on this system. I don't want it to be just a one-patch blast of crafting and then be dead. They have to hope. I really hope that they have plans for, you know, the next couple of patches. Haven't really been paying attention for the most part, but just bought the vendor item that gives 10 knowledge for 100 metal, and it gave me back 50 metal when I used it. Oh, okay. I don't think that's meant to happen. You know why, right? Because you gain five artisan's metal every time you gain one knowledge. So yeah, it probably is not meant to refund you the metal. Would be my assumption. Because, for example, with the professions, the ads. Okay, there's an ad playing. I can't keep track of when all these ads play. Either way, it's probably not meant to give you 50. It's probably not meant to give you the arts and metal back. Is the TLDR to that? That's probably a bug. Right, Cliffside Wilderdrake. Cliffside Wilderdrake. Which one is it? The red hair one. Red hair. This one requires rank 15 and 25 skill. Rank 15 and 25 skill. Ad showed up when you said you know what. Twitch knows. Twitch does know. You should stop asking your questions 3 seconds before an ad's about to play. I can't lie. I'm not so much of a fan of letting Twitch be in control of the ads, but the alternative is that everybody gets. The alternative is that everybody has to watch pre-rolls before they join, which unfortunately is it's a lesser of two evils. But please don't. I really cannot get into a Twitch rant today. I do not have the brain power for a Twitch rant. Casgarite leather workers tool set. Blacksmithing. Just subscribe before asking a question. Well, that works. That works. Casgarite leather tool set. Renown 19 and skill 50. That's annoying. Because that's something that, as a leatherworker main, I might very clearly want to get my hands on. The fact it has crafting speed is a bit of a dead end for me. I can't imagine there's a period in time where I'm going to want to stack crafting speed, ever. Unless I make drums, lots of drums. But drums is probably a market I just won't deal with because it's too much like hard work and the margins will be too skinny. Resourcefulness is alright. That's actually a really dead secondary. As leatherworking, as accessories go, that one's really dead for me. The only reason I'd want that is because it gives a, +6 skill. But crafting speed and resourcefulness are fucking useless for me. I want inspiration and multi-craft. Resourcefulness, sure, cool, maybe, but it's only about as third as powerful as multi-craft. Clearly not enough ads for the Dutch market. I get them seldomly. Yeah, so some people are quite clearly going to get presented more ads than others. If you happen to live in a, truth be told, if you live in a country that primarily speaks English, you get a lot of ads. Everywhere else, you probably get less ads. So yeah, rip United Kingdom. Okay. Next list. I don't know, on YouTube I get commercials about Korean apples and pears. Yeah, but YouTube is a different YouTube's a different game because they've actually got YouTube can sell ads. Twitch is dog shit selling ad space. Actual dog shit. Look, you're getting me into a Twitch rant. We're not having this. I need to concentrate. Not having this. I refuse. Casgarite needle set. What? Hang on. No, that's what? Oh, it's a tailoring accessory, but it's a blacksmithing thing. That confused me. Casgarite needle set. There it is. We need, what do we need? We need Renown 19 and Blacksmithing 50. 19 and 50. Casgarite sickle. Starting to sense a pattern here. Renown 19. Renown 19 and Blacksmithing 30. Schematic, something or other, engineering. $19 and $50. I'm not entirely surprised by this, but there clearly seems to be a lot of reputation grinding to be done if you want all of the top quality profession equipment stuff. Casgarite Delver's helmet, 19 and 50. Ranthius, it's lunchtime, so it makes sense. I'm getting a bit peckish. Primal Chaos drops on the last bosses from dungeons, at least in heroics. In what sort of quantities? Are we talking like, 2 or 3 at a time, or are we talking 20 or 30 at a time? It's of no surprise that it's going to drop from dungeons. It's more of a case of just how much of it. Does it become more effective to just spam dungeons to farm it, or should you be running around, picking it up in other ways? I'm not a big fan of testing the dungeons on betas, so I'm gonna trust others to help me out with that one. Didn't notice drops from the dungeons yesterday. Could be something new with this build. It was a big update today. It was like a 2 gig update or something ridiculous. There was a lot of things going into it today, probably because of the raid. But they clearly seem to have changed a lot behind the scenes as well. Which, yeah, like we've discussed, you only find these things when you find them. Master's Wildercloth Gardening Hat. They've changed the name of this. I've got it down as just a Wildercloth Gardener's Hat. They've changed it to Master's Wildercloth Gardener's Hat. No, they haven't. That's the basic one. It's me not reading. It's me not reading. 19 and 30. I do wonder sometimes, me doing this in the morning may not be the best best idea, because my concentration levels and my ability to just pay attention seem to be tragic in the morning. I'm a night owl. I should be doing this at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm wide awake. Technique contract for the Valdrakken Accord. Okay, there it is. Renown 23 before you get the contract with these fellas. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Contract, Valdrakken. Valdrakken 23. What do you need to be a subscribe? 40. Chronocloth reagent bag. Oh, okay. Well, we're equally not going to have large reagent bags for a while either then, because tailors are going to have to grind out until Renown 23 before they get access to a big, chunky reagent bag. This is interesting, actually. This is exposing a lot of the, when we're going to get what. And it all goes to show that the first couple of weeks we're going to be running around desperately trying to optimize things, hoping that other crafters can make things for. This is even on the assumption that work orders are in at the beginning of the game, which I'm convinced that they won't be. But even if work orders are a thing, you're going to be like, can you make me one of these yet? Can you make me one of these yet? And everybody's going to be like, no, I still need renown. We're going to be running around with basic everything. The ability to optimize and min-max things is going to be very difficult until people get their act together and start grinding reputation. 23 and 50. I'm sure there'll be some smart souls out there that'll work out incredibly quick ways to grind these reputations out, though. Wonder if Microsoft is going to sneak in a Windows 11 upgrade with WoW when the acquisition is over. Sneaky sneakies. When's the access to the new bigger bag? The new bag? Wildercloth bag, which is a 32 slot bag, you learn from the trainer. The Azerweave Expedition pack, though, requires Dragon Scale Expedition 19. Dragon Scale Expedition, by my calculation, is going to be the easiest one to grind out, though. So, and that's a 34 slot bag, I think. Technique, illusion, parchment, something or other. Whirling breeze, this one. Requires 28. And skill 10 in inscription. How many materials does the bigger bag take? I can't tell you right now. I mean, the new reagent bag, it's a chronocloth. There's a daily, chronocloth, you can make like 10 of it a week. I don't know how much of it's needed to make each bag, though. You're not going to be able to churn out the big bags, because the big bags are going to be quite heavily material capped. Last one is a tailoring pattern as well. Cushion of time travel. Tailoring 28. 28 and skill 25. Right, there we go. There we go. Now, none of these other dudes are offering us anything. Right. Quick sneaky look, see if this fella does or says anything different. No, this is all disastrously boring, and I really don't. I don't want to go. I don't want to bang on about this every day, but I really am. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting to see the work orders be implemented now. The fact that we haven't even. I mean, this was implemented on the alpha, like months ago. And not a single iteration from this has been seen since. And apparently even just talking about it is a warrant to get booted off the server. The curse continues. Yeah, a little bit. The servers are not what you would call stable right now. Right, okay. I want to go test, actually. I want to go double track the Tuskars, because all of their patterns seem to be a bit funky yesterday. I wonder if they've fixed that. Let's go and have a little bit of a looky. Let's fly ourselves down here. I'd dragon ride down there, but with disconnects being a bit wild at the moment, we'll take the flight path instead. What skin was that? Yeah, I don't know, is the honest answer. It turned up today. Somebody said it's the one that there's a skin that drops off in the raid or something. I don't know. Just got a beta invite. Can I be bothered to install it? Yes, do it. Install it. Go poke about. The more you know, well, the more you know. It's not. There's not too much science to that one. I'll have a little poke about the Tuskar fellas down here, see what their vendors have to offer today, and then I might just kind of, play the game a touch, and by that, get some of these icons off my map. And get I do actually want to go and see what's going on with the Dragon Scale base camp. The fact that they're calling for my assistance intrigues me. There's a couple of quests down here as well. World quests for the most part. Yeah, there's far too many icons on my map. I need to get rid of some of these icons. Don't like having so many icons. It means we got stuff to do. I should go get these as well. Forgotten Jewel Box and a Sapphire Gem Cluster. You might regret going into the Waking Shores. Yeah, somebody was saying earlier it's a bit of a shit show up there right now. I'm not quite sure why the servers are so unstable. Oh, there's a quest in there as well. Why is there a quest in there? Put a marker there. There's a quest we need to go get. Right then. Where's the vendor doodah down here? Which one was he? Was it this dude? What? What is this? Huh. Backpack vendor. Requires a durable tusk taken from the mammoth of the Dragon Isles, tail strider sinew, a bit of fibrous tissue that has been gathered from the tail striders of the Dragon Isles, and then 400 Dragon Isle supplies. Huh. That's cool. None of them are particularly interesting, but mostly colour variations of each other. Sure. More cosmetics to collect. That'll make all the things go ding a few times, won't it? You're not who I was looking for, though. Where's the dude I was looking for? Let's just check out all the vendors. Have you noticed there's these one-time rewards that give 3 knowledge, found 2 for inscription? Yeah, I'm slowly starting to learn where a lot of this stuff comes from. There's some weird acquisition of knowledge, though. Seems to be given to you from, like, seemingly really random locations. What is this? Cosmetics. Timber splitter. Shark tooth. Bolter. Fisherman's dagger. Leviathan hook. A harpoon. It's got a fish on it, look. Oh, that's quite cool. A little bit of green glowy ball in it. More cosmetics. Oh, okay. Apparently I'm not allowed to talk to you for some reason. Oh, are we dead? Oh, this is usually a good indication of a DC. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, loads of transmog all over the place. They've gone to town with the transmog this expansion. Okay, it put us back here. Ah. Lots of customization options for your Drake are in here. Now, are these all different to the ones that scribes can make? Are they all different than the scribe ones? Where's inscription? Is this one of those things that I prefer and like to see being choice? Spined head, hair. Oh no, these are different. These are like bushy brows and. Okay, they're not the inscription ones. Oh no! Don't give me more help icons, please. Yeah, for reference, I don't know what this skin is. It is really cool. It just randomly turned up on my account and I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it's because I'm special. Because, yeah. Achievement, Dragon Niles, a new friend. Unless they are, I mean, there is a possibility, unless they are changing the Dragon Isles mounts. Because there's been a lot of kickback that they're just boring. It's the honest answer. A lot of people have said that they're very boring. But this fella looks cool. At least. I mean, you compare this fella to this fella. I know which one I'd rather ride about on. Fishing trainer, leatherworking, tattered wilder cloth, Dragon Isle supplies, cosmetics for days, ensembles, it means if you are an appearance collector, you're going to have your work cut out for you, since you are likely then going to need to level, well, arguably at least 4 characters to max renown on, you know, to be able to pick up all of the transmog options. Which is, I mean, if you're a transmog collector, I'm sure then you'll do it, but I can't help but feel that it's going to be quite a chore, quite a task. Same as all the Covenant stuff. Yeah. Oh, blueberry muffin. Cooking recipe. Requires 20 mackerel snack rolls and a churn belly tea to buy it. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Let's jot that one down. Where's cooking? Sorry, it's not a blueberry muffin, is it? It's a blubbery muffin. Ooh, that changes the game. Blubbery muffin. Dessert, surely. There it is. Let's just call it a vendor one. You buy it from, what do you need? You need 20... mackerel snackerel. And 1 churn belly tea. And you buy it from, who is this dude? This dude is Gin and Tuck or something. Okay. Stable master. Oh! Oh! Here's the scouting Ottuks, look. Here's the mounts. Requires 24 with the Tuskars. Can't look at them. Get ourselves an otter. Why can we only look at one of them? Okay. Maybe Blizzard doesn't want to spread the secrets. We can't look at the brown, the yellow, or the yellow ones. We can only look at this fella. Otter power. Is it time consuming to make gold? When you start, yes. When you start making gold, yes. Because the problem is that you don't have anything, you don't have any expertise in it yet in terms of, you need to collect, to be good at crafting. Crafting's really quick and easy because you just make a bunch of stuff and then you sell it, which is quite quick and easy. But to be able to do that, you need to gather, you need to spend the time getting the recipes and making a bit of gold so you can buy materials and stuff. Usually most people start with farming, which is time consuming, but usually guarantees you at least some gold. Okay, these recipes seem to have been fixed now. These seem to actually say that you need to rank up with the Tuskars. So because of that, I'm going to start jotting these down in my little cheat sheet now. Right, so we have an enchant to begin with. Enchanting. Enchant cloak, regenerative leech. Enchant cloak. Where's enchant cloaks gone? Oh, up here. Regenerative leech. Oh, we already put this one in. Have we already done this? I know we started this. Renown 10, 25 skill. From Rotuk, is that his name? Yeah. Can't even see the other colours in the mount journal. They might not have models in the game yet. That could be why. Enchant chest, accelerated agility, Tuskars. Okay, we've put some of these in. Why did I stop putting these in? Oh, it's probably because I realised that the tooltips for them were wrong. Kalawak figurine, jewel crafting. How far through these did I get though? Rank 10, 20, okay. Energized Emerald. Energized Emerald, Frost Gems. Okay, this is where we got to, and this is where I stopped. So this needs Renown 10 and 30 skill. Keenius Emerald. 10 and 30. Radiant Alexstrasite. Radiant Alexstrasite. 10 and 30 again. Sensei's Alexstrasite. Hey, look, we're filling in all of the gaps now. All of the gaps are starting to be filled. 10 and 30. What are the professions that feel good right now? Oh, do you want the boring answer or the real answer? The boring answer is all of them. There's so much changing with so many of them. They all feel really quite cool. And it scares me to say it. Even the gathering professions are feeling quite cool. They've added enough to even the gathering professions to make them, give them a bit of revitalization. If what you're really asking is which one should you take because it's likely to give you make you the most gold, I mean that's nearly impossible to answer. But the most of the crafting professions are, well, if they pace it right, they're all good, right? If they pace it so that you can't just zerg knowledge too easily, if they make it so that you can get 20, 25 knowledge points a week, the professions will have enough of a life enough of a a lifetime to them that whichever one you pick, there'll be plenty of things in there for you to do. There'll be plenty of things for you to craft and sell because everybody else will be held back because of the knowledge. Which in a weird way, this is one of those scenarios where time gating actually works quite well. It gives more people the opportunity to level them up. It gives more people the ability to sort of craft a few things. Instead of big goblins just leveling everything, crafting everything, selling everything, undercutting everybody. The longer you can delay that process will always happen. Let's not forget this, right? That process will always happen. People who really enjoy playing with the professions, people like me, will get there eventually. We'll get to the point where we'll have all of the recipes, we'll have all of our alts leveled, we'll have everything craftable, we'll have all of the skill points so we can craft things at high quality, and we will probably go into just like ridiculous level overdrive, craft and sell everything mode. But it will take even people that, focus on it quite heavily. It will take people 6 months to do that. So the start of the expansion is going to be really good. Pretty much whatever you pick up is kind of the more boring answer, I suppose. Weirdly, even fishing is being revitalized. You might even be incentivized to whip your rod out and have a play from time to time. All puns intended. Oh, sugar. Which one did I get to? Which ones did I do? Did I do Kenius Emerald? Kenius Emerald I did. Radiant Alexstrasite. Yep. Sensei's Alexstrasite, yeah. Okay, technique, inscription. Technique, Highland Drake Black Hair. Highland Drake Black Hair. Comes from the Tuskars. 13 and 25. And a lot of people will be looking at this and going, oh my god, I'm going to have to rep grind on many characters. Which is true. If you want everything for every profession, you're going to be spending a long time grinding reputations out. But that's good for everybody else because it means that, somebody will have done this reputation first and some people will have those professions and then some other people will have gone in a completely different direction. And eventually, like I said, everybody will end up with everything. But it will take a while to get there, which is going to be quite cool. Impossibly sharp cutting knife. A finishing reagent. A cooking finishing reagent. Precise cuts ensure perfect portions with nothing going to waste. Gain 110 resourcefulness to this recipe. You want multi-craft when cooking, though. Spoiler alert. But either way. Optional reagents. I didn't think cooking made optional reagents, but apparently they do. Oh, it's okay. It's considered an ingredient. Okay. 15 and 35. Allied heartwarming fur coat. What's this? Leatherworking. If you have time but not the intelligence, gathering, all of the gathering. Dragonflight is going to be monstrously profitable for gatherers for a good couple of months, I would imagine. There is going to be many people out there that will want lots of materials. So go get those materials and sell them to them. That's clearly the most there'll probably be a bit of a switch in the meta. Shadowlands ended up being very crafting heavy because of legendaries. The best way to make the best gold in Shadowlands was to be crafting and selling legendaries. And because that was a case, that pushed a lot of people into crafting. In Dragonflight, it's looking like there'll be less people that will end up specializing for a long time in professions, but there will still be a steady supply and demand on the materials. So gatherers out there will have a field day. And also the fact that there's a progression path for gatherers now. You can do a little bit of herbalism and a little bit of mining, and you can gather knowledge points, and you can spec into being better at picking herbs or better at picking ore, or increase your chance of finding rare items when gathering. There's lots of things where the specialization trees are going to be good for everybody. But if you don't want to put too much thought process into it, go out and gather stuff. You'll make bank real quick. You'll make loads of gold. It'll be easy. This is probably going to be a... It's not an elemental one. Here we go. Here we go. I was wondering where all of these recipes were coming from. We need 15 renown with the Tuskars, and we need 50 skill. Dumb question, is it hard to set up TSM? TSM is not the most intuitive add-on, not by a mile. But if you, for Shadowlands at least, right now, you can jump into Discord. I've got some basic groups for people to use in Shadowlands. From once you've got some basic groups set up, you can make TSM as simple or as complicated as you want it to be, based upon what you want to do. Just remember that TSM is not an add-on that makes gold for you. It just streamlines your ability to do what you would already be doing manually. So if you do, the more time you spend setting it up in the way that works for you, the better it will work. But out of the box, it's pretty good. It does its job. Snowball makers. Snowball makers, where are those? But I would never use the words easy and TSM in the same sentence, though. Let's put it that way. Oh, my idols for jewel crafting. Where's the idols gone? Here we go. 2 from the Dragon Scale expedition. And by the looks of things, the other 2. Idol of the Dreamer and Spellweaver. Yeah, there we go. From the Tuskars. 15 and 50. Oh, Lord. That's that's clearly going to be my reason to do some fishing. I suspected that being a thing, but I was hoping it wasn't going to be too much of a thing. Luckily, it's on my main character where I'll do everything on them anyway, so... Update on the alchemy potion in Brackenhide. You only have to kill 1 mob to get access to a pot, but the problem is being strong enough to kill that 1 mob before the debuff he puts on you kills you. Hunters will be alright with that. Is there an outdoor version of the Brackenhide altar? would assume not. Pretty sure there was 2 staves at skill 60 on the inscription trainer, but not anymore. Inscription, weapons. What I've got noted down is there's an Overseer's Wraithbark stave, a Pioneer's Wraithbark stave, which come from the trainers. And then there's one that's in the spec tree. There's a few. Have some of these gone? Also the illuminating pillar. Yeah, there's a few that learnt from the trainer. They might have just been repositioned somewhere. This feels like an awful lot to come from a trainer. I would not be too surprised to see these spread out somewhere else. Is the document going to be available for anyone, or will it be if you're a sub? Before the launch of Dragonflight, it's clearly not ready. So if you happen to be a supporter of the channel, either a Patreon member, a YouTube member, or a Twitch sub, you'll have access to it in its very early rudimentary forms. But it's not publicly available to everybody yet, because it's clearly a work in progress. A little bit of early access for supporters of the channel. Shockproof gloves, leatherworking. Renown 18 and skill 50. Shockproof gloves. Where are those? There they are. 18 and 50. Lavish floral pack. 18 and 50 again. Resplendent cover. 18 and 50 again. On that note, I can't see anything in the Discord channel premium other than your notes about the channel. My Twitch is connected with Discord. Oh, I wonder if... you should be able to see the Cheat Sheet Pro group, the Cheat Sheet Pro channel you should be able to see. I would assume. DM me on Discord and I'll have a little bit of a look at it when I'm not live. Where did we get to? Flourish pack we did, resplendent cover we just did. Expert Skinner's cap. Expert. Whoa! Skinners are going to have to wait a while to get these. Skinners want their top quality accessories. They're going to have to wait a while. Leather workers are going to have to get to renown 80 with the fishy dudes. 18, sorry, not 80. That would be really tragic. Just looted an awakened decay. An awakened version? Not even a rousing one? Rousing ones I can understand. A full awakened one. That's big. That's money in the bank. Money in the bank. Fine print trifocals, jewel crafting. Fine print trifocals. Scara, what level's that? 18 and 35. It was from a tailoring knowledge item in the open world version of Brackenhide. So many things I need to investigate. So many things. Resonant focus. 18 and 35 again. What I do really need to try and do, because I need to somewhat remember that I'm only human and I'm genuinely one person. This is why my focus at the moment is very heavily on like the cheat sheet, because I've put together a list of things I want this cheat sheet to be able to do before the launch of Dragonflight, which is this full pattern profession list, where all of your patterns come from all of your professions, because as it stands at the moment, the in-game UI doesn't tell you any of this. So either people are going to need to do a lot of WoW heading, of which is, by my past experience, not necessarily always very reliable at the beginning of an expansion. So, I mean, this is just a personal thing more than anything. I want to know where all my recipes are before I get going. I know then it teaches me which reputations I might need to focus on which characters. Some basic profession overviews, which, will just be notes realistically. Bit of an overview to what's new for each of the professions. Prospecting, milling, disenchanting. We've started these. We've pretty much smashed the Discord, the disenchanting. Sorry, prospecting already. We've worked out what we need to work out for the most part there. Some mini leveling guides, the first 50 skill points in each profession. I want to try and work out optimal ways to get them, and to get them in a cost-effective way as well. A global materials list, which will then hopefully allow me, once I put a global material list together, we can use TSM's integration to populate it with prices. And once we have a list of all the materials with all of the prices, we can use that information throughout the rest of the sheet to help us work out crafting costs for stuff. But the detailed profession crafting cost-esque sort of stuff is probably not going to happen until we get into live, if I'm honest. This is enough to keep me going before the game goes live. Ask Wowhead if they want to sponsor you so you can make every item clickable with Wowhead links. Well, I mean, I could do that anyway. For some things, I might do that anyway, but I'm certainly not expecting a sponsorship deal. Right, leatherworking. Tuskar beanbag. A toy. What do I need to get this toy? Rank 22. Okay. Rank 22 and 50 skill. Right, next page. Only two more. Only two more. Good. This has taken a long time today. Of course, the contract. Inscription. Tuskar inscription. 25 and 40 skill. $25 and 40 skill, cool. Finished prototype regal barding. Oh, this is going to then... Oh, wow, okay. This is one of the things that goes into, I believe this goes into making a whole bunch of the dragon riding cosmetic items. Now this is going to be right at the end of the tree for the Tuskars. Okay. Interesting. 29 renown with the fish fellas. Woo! It's a lot of fishing. Which one is it? The Regal Barding. And we need 29 renown and 50 skill. Damn, that's a grind. You have to make a blacksmithing item, then a leatherworking finishes it off, then a scribe uses it to make the dragon riding item. Oh, is that the synergy between them? So the blacksmith makes the prototype barding, the leatherworker makes the finished version, and then the scribe takes the finished one. But then why are these bind on pickup? Does that mean if you don't roll a scribe, does that mean you're going to have to roll a scribe if you want all of the cosmetics for your dragon riding? Because a scribe then won't be able to sell them, or they'll have to first buy their materials through work orders, unless they happen to. Oh, I'm not going to like work orders, am I? I am not going to like work orders. I already don't like work orders, and they're not here. Isn't the final item then BoE? Or maybe it might be, but having to put in work orders for crafting reagents just seems dumb. It just feels so dumb. The only reason that why wouldn't it's not like these are going to have a quality. I don't need to put in a custom order for something like this. I'm not specifying it to be made in any certain way. I just want it. Like, it's a crafting reagent. It doesn't need to be bind on pickup. It doesn't need to be limited to being sold through work orders. It's just an arbitrary restriction to push this work order system. I'm really worried for this work order system. If people like me don't get on board with it, then heaven forbid what everybody else's opinion will be of it. If somebody is deep into the crafting scene, oh Lord, okay, well we'll see when we finally get it, won't we? But if you can do your own posted work orders, post them for 1 copper tip and no mats, then you can do it with your alt. And if other people do it, yeah, you got it for free. Yeah, there's already shenanigans that can happen with this. But I also tend to be a little bit concerned that they might put arbitrary restrictions on things like that you can't fulfill your own work orders, just like you can't buy your own auctions. But yeah, I'm not sure. The silly thing is, really, let's not muck about. The silly thing is if they just gave us the work order system, we'd be able to see it. We'd be able to see if it's any good. Leaving us guessing is not doing them any favors. They'd be much better off just giving it to us so that we can see it. And so that they could then at least gauge the community perception towards it. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm concerned. Like I said, if people like me don't look forward to it. The average player is going to look at it and be like, what the fuck is this? Or it's shit and they know it and they're trying to fix it. That's also another very high possibility. I've disconnected again. This is also kind of why, I mean, we talked about this a lot yesterday. This is kind of why I have the suspicion that the work order system won't be in place for the launch, and that it's being deliberately delayed a few weeks later into like some campaign or storyline or something. They'll make it so that, you know, people go live, they level their characters, they start leveling their professions in the way that they've already done, let people get invested in the profession system, and then drop the work order system on people and let people see what they do with it. Can I just force a disconnect? Or we'll just Alt F4. They're not ready to pull the ripcord on it yet. Well, this is it. Maybe this is it, right? We can speculate, but maybe this is it. Maybe they know it's dog shit. Maybe they can't get it right. Maybe they, you know, maybe they're holding it back for as long as possible because they don't want people to be able to test it all that much because they know it's dog shit. It's cynical as all hell, but I can't quite understand why a system that's meant to tie in the entire expansion for people, because let's put it this way, it's not like it's just a crafter thing. Every single player that plays the game in some way, shape or form is going to interact with this work order system. You could argue it's a bigger implementation to the game than a new raid or new dungeons. Because if you do Mythic Plus, you do the new dungeons. If you raid, you do the raid. Everybody is going to have this new work order system thrust on them. And if it's dog shit, it's not good for anybody. It wouldn't even hurt people like Manthe anyway, who just post orders from the other account. Well, yeah, this is it. Like if they put some sort of arbitrary thing that you can't complete your own work orders, it's easy enough to do if you have multiple accounts. But hot milk from somewhere. Where do we get the hot milk from? There was a vendor in here, I think. Why is the timer crashed? Is that it? Is it over? Is that why? I don't know. Give me an order. What am I doing? Fetch some kelp. The bone. Pepper melt from up here somewhere. Give me some pepper melt. What else do I need? Dragon eel head. From some dude this way. There we go. There's a dragon eel head. Throw them in the pot. Come on, this soup's still poor. Can't have no poor soup. Poor soup's for paws. I mean, your desire to do this is there's a quest which once you've done 5 tasks, once you've done 5 tasks, then you, is it here or once you've done 5 tasks, you get a bonus reward. So that's kind of the incentive for people to actually do it. Gonna have legendary soups the first few days though, with everybody crowding on this. Come on, fishy fish. Come on, fishy fish. There we go. Got it. I've not tested this faction in too much detail, but this seems to be one of the primary ways to get reputation with it. Which is a bit annoying because it might end up meaning that you camp the living Christ out of it. But why won't it let me throw my fish into the pot? There we go. There's the button for me fish. So yeah, 4 out of 5 participation. I need to do one more thing to get like my personal bonus. Once you've done 5 things, you can continue and do more. Every little task you do, you gain a small amount of reputation. Thicken the soup. Yes, chef. Oh no, this is the one that disconnected me last time. Hey, better luck this time. Nice. They nerfed res sickness on beta for now, 1 minute instead of 10. That's just a change. That's not just a beta thing. That's just a straight up change. But if you use the spirit healer, what was it? If you use the spirit healer, you now take 50% damage or something. 50% instead of 10% durability damage. Bit of a kiss curse situation. Hang on, where'd it go? Oh no! I was 4 out of 5! Ah, oh, stupid cooking pot. Ah, oh, I was too slow. Too slow. Okay. What did I get? Did we get at least an uncommon soup? Common soup. Oh, terrible. Useless. Useless. Bunch of paws. Dragonflight quests are so much better than Shadowlands ones. I love the detail and small stuff in them. It is a refreshing change, I'm not going to lie. The amount of creativity that's gone into this expansion compared to the last couple is very good. Very good. Right, I need to start clearing the map. But I also need to eat some food. Which leaves me to believe, boys and girls, people of all ages, I think I might call it there for today. We're slowly getting places. We're slowly, day by day, chipping away, learning things. If every day we, work out a few more bits and pieces, we should be good. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you all for joining. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Thanks for sticking about. We'll be back again tomorrow. It's Friday tomorrow, isn't it? Last day of the week for me tomorrow. I might actually have a day off at some point soon. We'll see. It feels weird saying I might have a day off. I play video games for a living. I shouldn't complain. But yes, we'll be back same place, same time tomorrow. We'll be continuing on with beta footage. I've got very little reason to be playing retail right now. Loads of stuff to learn and find out on beta, and loads of stuff to do. So if you enjoy, hit that follow button if you haven't already. Consider subscribing. 20% off gift subs, I believe, on Twitch at the moment. I probably should have pushed that a little bit harder earlier in the stream. I'm so bad at selling out. I need you guys to do it for me. But either way, thank you for joining. We'll be back again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.